Whew. Hello. Hey guys. Come on in, come on in. Happy Saturday. Go ahead and come in, like, share, subscribe, all of those wonderful things that we do every Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. I hope that you are doing well. Hey guys, come in. Hey, happy Saturday. I hope that you guys are doing well. I want to introduce myself always first. I am Brittany Wilder. I am a coach who believes that we're all well worth it and deserving of a life that is altogether happy, healthy, and whole. Hey, happy Saturday, everyone. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, all those good things. Hey, Terry. And we're just going to have a talk like we do every Saturday. Definitely feel free to get in the chat box, voice your opinion. I love other opinions and all the above. But this message is something that is really near and dear to my heart. And when I started thinking about it, it was based off of a conversation that me and my husband had. And the conversation was about just going through it, like different things happening for whatever reasons. Car breaking down, you lost your job, um, something happened with your finances, you lost a loved one, um, all of those things happening, and not just one at a time, but those things happening back to back to back to back to back to where you haven't even recovered from one thing. Hey, Tina, you haven't even recovered from one situation, one trauma, and there's another one that's upon you, right? And so me and my husband were just talking, and I was just like, babe, I know that I'm strong, but how strong does God need me to be? How strong does one need to be? And so that's where this whole idea of how strong do I need to be? How many traumas and how many different things do I need to go through? And so we just got into a conversation about it. And, my husband is very encouraging, and he definitely uplifts me whenever I'm down. But I started thinking about different things that happen in life where I was just going through it. And right before I was able to go through something else happened. And right before I was able to deal with that thing, something else happened. And so I started to realize that a lot of the times we're going through different things for ourselves and for our strengths and for different things that will happen down the road, but also for other people. And one situation in particular that I was thinking about today, talking about with you guys, is in 5 years ago, 2015, I lost my grandmother in March, my mother in the beginning of May, and my grandmother the end of May at my mother's funeral, the day of my mother's funeral. And you guys, it was such a tough place mentally, spiritually. I couldn't understand why I was going through these different things. First off, anybody who has lost a loved one understands that grief is hard, death is hard to deal with. We all deal with it in our own ways. But I couldn't understand why I was going through it so heavy, why I was losing these strong black women that have taught me how to be a strong black woman, that have taught me these morals and these values and all these different things, and basically taught me how to be me and how to stand up for yourself and all these different things that taught me how to be me while they were taking away from me so quickly, so rapidly. And I just couldn't, it was like I couldn't breathe, you guys. Like losing your grandmother and your mother and your grandmother back to back to back, and having to grieve and figure out what is life when you speak to your mother every day. I was the type of child that my mom would call me every day on the way to work. She would call me every day. We'd talk about this, talk about that. And that was hard, adjusting to not having that phone call, not having these different things happen. But these things happened back to back to back, and I was lost. I was absolutely lost. And I grew up in the church, and I grew up with a strong faith base and with a strong belief in God. And that was the only thing that kept me trucking. And the one thing that replayed in my mind when I was just distressed and lost and a walking zombie, honestly, because I don't know how I made it to work, made it back. It was like my mind was warped, you guys. When you lose so many people and you haven't grieved with even the first person that you lost, you're lost. You're literally out here just, well, I guess I'll go to work now. I guess I'll figure that out when I get there. And so I was in that state, and it took me a long time to even start to begin the healing process. And the one thing that I remember is that in my mind, it just kept playing over and over again was God will give you double for your trouble, right? I've heard that, growing up in the church, you've heard that from people. I've heard my mom say it. He'll give you double for your trouble. He'll give you double for your trouble. And I'm like, well, God, like when I've lost everyone that I've called granny and grandma and mom, like how, like where's the blessings? Like what's happening? Like what's going on? And what happened was I was going through it, and one of my mom's friends, she called me and was just like, hey, and I hadn't talked to her in years. She used to babysit me and all the above. And she called and said, hey, you're in pain, but listen to me. You have to pray about this. You got to go to God about this. He knows you're mad at him. And I was so mad because I just was like, God, how strong do you need me to be? How strong do you need me to be? If I'm losing these people that are so near and dear to my heart, how strong do you need me to be, God? Really, seriously, how strong do you need me to be? Over and over again. And she just called me out of the blue. And that's the thing, God will send people to you when you are down on your last leg. He will send people to you to make you wake up. I know somebody needs to hear this because somebody has been bombarded by different things that have happened in their lives. Ooh, y'all, excuse me. Things that are just happening over and over again, and it feels like nothing's letting up. Feels like you're losing your faith, your hope. Stand still and stand strong on those promises, y'all. Go to God in prayer because it's going to turn around for you. And it may not turn around when you want it to, but it's going to turn around for you. And my turnaround was one of my mother's closest friends reaching out to me and just saying, you got to go to God to this. He knows you're mad. You got to go and talk to him about it. You got to go and hash it out. You can call on him about anything. And it took that for me to be like, you're right. I'm mad. I'm angry. I wasn't talking to him. I wasn't praying. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't going into peace. I was going into every single day fighting myself constantly. So I needed to get that in order and check that. And anybody who has been through anything, when it comes down to grieving, you know that it is a long process. It is a process that is continual. You wake up one day and it feels like it's been 4 minutes since you lost your loved one. Hey, Kay. Hey, sis. Sometimes it feels like it's been 4 months or 4 years. Sometimes somebody can say something and trigger something, and you just start crying out of nowhere, right? Because you're triggered by it. And that's the grieving process. And I had to go through that. But it took me to a place where I needed to go to God and speak to him and let him know I'm angry with you for taking away these women that have taught me everything and how to be me. I am angry with you, Lord. And I need healing. And it wasn't until that moment, y'all, that things started to turn around for me. But we go through many things in life, such as life. We go through many struggles continuously. But one thing that I hold on to, one thing that I hold on to, that I know and that I live by, you guys, is when things are happening back to back to back and you feel like you can't get up from the last time you went through something and you're being bombarded by negative things and traumatic things and all kinds of situations that are just unfair, that you're right in the right place because your blessing is right around the corner. If you can just hold on and pray and be honest and come to God and say, God, I'm mad about this. It's okay. And nobody ever told me that I could be okay with being angry and talking to God about being angry with him. And that grew my relationship with God. just being able to be like, listen, I'm mad about this, God. Like, like nobody ever taught me that when I was younger. It had me when I had to go through my own situations with him and I had to talk to him and deal with myself was when I was able to just be honest and open and truthful with him. But nobody ever taught me that. You learned it, right? I had to learn it. I had to learn it through my situations. So anybody, if you are here and you are going through anything and it feels like life is constantly getting you down, you're getting up every day feeling down, depressed. God, you may have lost someone. You may be feeling like you don't know how you're going to hang on to the next day, how you're going to get through to the next day. Yes, he is, Tina, our bestie. That's right. That's right. And you define that relationship with him. Sometimes I go to him and be like, come on, God, for real. Come on, and just be honest and truthful. He knows it's in your heart. But it took me going through my situations. And I know that a lot of you who are on this video, whoever this is for, it took you going through your situation to get real and honest and truthful with God. Because he already knows what's there in your heart. Be honest. Let him know. You mad, you sad, you hurt. How could you do this, God? I feel so hurt. Why? And he'll show you why. He'll tell you why. I put you through this for this. And I learned that me going through my situation of losing my mother, 5 years later, I would have to help my best friend who lost her mother this year, who was very close to me as well. But I recognized that the healing that I got and that grieving process allowed me to walk her personally through her grieving process and hold on to her and just hang on to her and tell her it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Sometimes it feels like you lost her just that moment, and sometimes it feels like it's been a few years. Keep hanging on. Reach out to me. I know exactly what you're going through, and I know that helped her. But I know that that's something that I went through that was for somebody else as well. There will be so many situations like that, you guys. And if you're feeling like life is just breaking it down, you're going through so much, definitely feel free to reach out to me and do your consultation so that we can get to it. We can put a plan together. We can start to talk about these different situations that you're going through so I can stand next to you and walk you through your healing. My link is up at the top as always. Thank you guys for coming through. I done cried every little piece of whatever mascara I had left on out, y'all. But that's how it is, right? Such is life. You guys, I appreciate you guys. And I will definitely be back next Saturday, same time, 7:30, with a new topic that God has placed on my heart. Love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.